something that's come up with Strikeforce fighters before is that it's a good organization, but they don't have an easy time keeping their fighters busy. And I know you haven't fought in a bit and don't have anything scheduled, so talk about what that's been like and what your frustrations are with that.
Man, it's some bullshit, man. I've only fought once this year, and before that fight I hadn't fought. Before July I hadn't fought since December, so it's a problem, and since before that fight it had been another 6 months, so I'm getting a fight every 6-7 months. It's not cool, Yeah, I can't provide for my family like that, I got kids and stuff. I need to feed them, and I'm healthy. I'm 27. I'm only going to be 27 once in my life. And it's a shame that I sat out most of the year,
Yeah, and have you and your manager? What has Strikeforce been telling you guys as far as when something might happen?
Well, I know it's mainly with Showtime is the problem, because luckily I got, Sean Shelby be helping me out and looking out for me and stuff and Zuffa, but the problems come from Showtime. The amount of shows that they put on, and it's just I don't know what's going on, but it's not. They need to clarify to us, the fighters, what the future is going to be like. If they're going to resign, I shouldn't have to wait till February to know if there's still going to be a strike force or not. They should just tell us if there's going to be one or not.
Right. You talk about Sean Shelby and the Zuffa people. Do you think maybe there's an option of moving over to the UFC if something can't get done to it, so you can at least stay busy?
I don't know. I hope Sean will take me over and the UFC will take me over. That's obviously what I got my fingers crossed for. The only thing I want to do. But I just want to know what's going to happen. If there's going to be any more fights. I know they got a card scheduled in November, but after that, it's going to continue to be Strikeforce. What's going to happen?
Yeah, and actually, I know there's a couple things we can talk about as far as your last fight, but something I noticed, obviously, he's a tough fighter. Pat Healy looks like he's going to get the next crack at Gilbert Melendez. So, what did you think of him kind of getting the shot before you? Do you think you should have gotten the rematch now, or do you think you should be fighting Pat Healy?
I would have liked to fight Pat Healy. I don't even shine at his red number. I don't think he beat top contenders to get to the 155-pound belt. Matter of fact, I think he beat like 2 or 3 45ers, That last guy he fought might be 55er, but he's really a 45er, Hirota, and that other guy, Maximo Blanco's another 45-pounder. 6 wins in a row, 6 wins in a row, but I don't think he fought the toughest of opposition,
Yeah, and actually it was interesting in your last fight. You looked like you managed to control the fight the whole way against Justin Wilcox, and this is something I know you've had a beef with before as far as MMA judging, and that ended up being a split decision. I think most people wondered how it was that close. How nervous were you when you realized one judge had it for Wilcox?
Man, I've been robbed so many times in my career. I was just luckily I didn't even hear that part actually, because the fans were cheering for me. It was like a section of Spanish fans screaming out. I was talking back to them in Spanish, and I didn't really hear that. I just heard the judge that went for me, and then the second judge that went for me, they had it right. They had it 30-27. So I was just like, yeah. And then when I seen the replay earlier, later on, I seen that it was a split decision. I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know. So at the time I didn't hear, but I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, and I know in the Melendez fight you hurt your hand and you had to take some time off with that. How did you feel in there back against Wilcox? Do you feel like you're back at 100%?
No, I got some things I still got to work on to get my timing fully back, and then since I hadn't fought in 7 months, so it's a little bit of ring rust as far as my timing went, but I just want to stay active, I want to try to get some fights this year and get that ring rust off,
Yeah, so and as far as working in the gym, does it affect your training schedule at all too? Knowing, certainly when you have a fight, you have a plan of how you're going to build up and kind of amp up so you can peak at the right time. Is it also more difficult to do a training camp when you don't know when you're going to be back in there?
Yeah, man, it definitely sucks, man. Because I don't want to do this motherfucking party right now, man. Because I ain't got no fight coming up. I want to eat junk food and stuff, but I know I got to stay motivated and healthy, so. It's hard, man. I ain't flying so damn long. I ain't getting no money now. So I got to, do side things to get some money to keep food on the table. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and actually, also another guy who recently, I think, had some issues with this is Cyborg Santos, Evangelist Santos. He ended up asking for his release and got it for this exact same reason. And I know Strikeforce like I said, is one of the bigger promotions out there, but is that something that you've considered just if you really just can't get anything going yet?
Well, of course, as long as my next option would be Zuffa, UFC is the only place I plan on going to. I'll pretty much just retire, man. Cause I've been fighting for so damn long already. I'm not gonna fight for. I've been in a bad streak. I went to I was in Bulldog, then they went down, and while it was going down, they wasn't giving us no fights. They weren't really, helping me get fights or letting me to get fights. So when it finally went completely down, I went to Japan to Shibuya, and then they went down. And it was like a legal period too where I wasn't getting no fights. After Japan, I ended up signing with Bellator. You remember that first year they had with ESPN the Fortress?
Yep.
Then after that, they didn't have a network. They ended up going to Fox, but that period took about 9 months where I didn't have a fight for 9 months, So it's been from one bad one to another bad one. So if I'm not in the UFC, I don't even see myself competing much longer,
Yeah, and actually, you mentioned also in Strikeforce as far as whether or not it's going to stay around as a brand by itself or just end up getting merged with the parent company, and that's something a lot of people have talked about. For a fighter like you, there's Melendez, there's Healy, maybe a couple other guys, but, I guess what's it been like seeing, other fighters going to the UFC or just leaving? I mean, do you feel like the organization has the depth, or does it really need to kind of work on bringing in some new faces?
For Strikeforce?
Yeah.
Strikeforce, they have it's just, I don't know what's going on with the shows. I really don't know what's going on with Showtime if they even want Strikeforce there, because they got such limited amount of shows this year. It's hard. They have a certain amount of fighters on the contract. There's no way they get to meet the demands of each and every one of us, to keep us fighting, healthy 3 or 4 times a year. I just don't think so. The numbers don't add up.
Right. Well, we always enjoy having you on the show. Before we wrap things up, if you want to thank anyone or mention anything else, you can go on ahead.
I want to thank God, first and foremost. I want to thank MO Management. I want to thank American Top Team, Darren Lambert. I want to thank my stand-up trainer, Paulino Hernandez Rodriguez. I also want to thank all my fans that keep with me even when I don't fight. They be sending me emails telling me they want to see me fighting soon and stuff. Just all my fans, it's not up to me, man. If it was, I'd be in there fighting. I'm about to go fight in the back there right now if I have to, seriously,
Yeah.
Because I'm going to pay everybody, man. You might catch me in the back there soon if they don't give me a phone call.
Right. Well, like I said, we always enjoy having you on the show. Hopefully the next time it'll be under better circumstances, but good luck. Hopefully you'll be back in there soon.
Hell yeah. Next time will be much better circumstances.
All right.
Take care, man.
Thanks a lot.